In the following interview, Phil Flakes, co-founder of Succession Link, interviews Vice Chairman Dave Barton and business analyst William Perysian at Mercer Advisors. Hear firsthand on their experience using the Succession Link platform to acquire a financial advisory practice.
And then I guess just generally speaking, how have things been for you on the site?
We've been very pleased with the site. Traffic is excellent. Participation, number of firms registered on the website. Website is very good, very robust. Been an excellent source for M&A activity for Mercer.
Okay. And could you tell me, I guess, just a little bit about Mercer?
Mercer is a RIA. It is a family office business model. That is, we don't just do financial planning and investment management. We do and offer a number of family office services to include estate planning, asset protection, tax return preparation, corporate trustee, and of course, our certified financial planners are the quarterbacks of the financial planning relation with our clients, but we have expanded that out to include family office services, and we do all that for one low fee. So we don't charge separately for our services. We have one asset management fee, and as a result of becoming a Mercer client, they have access to those services.
Gotcha. Okay. And then how many advisors would you say you have across the country?
We have over 80 CFPs, CFAs, MBAs, attorneys, accountants across the nation. We have 24 offices. We manage $10.7 billion for our 7,600 clients nationwide. We've been in operation since 1985, but over the last 2 years, we have witnessed expansive growth. So to put some color on that, in May 2015, we were a good-sized firm, $6 billion in assets under management, approximately 4,200 clients, 15 offices. Today, we have 24 offices across the United States, $10.7 billion in assets under management, and approximately 7,600 clients. And that growth has come through very strong and robust organic growth. So last year, for example, we added 958 clients to our firm, representing over $1.5 billion new dollars in growth to Mercer. Now, simultaneously, we also are very aggressive in the mergers and acquisitions market. And we did a number of acquisitions last year, 3 to be exact, with AUM totaling $2.5 billion in adding approximately 950 new clients through M&A. So last year alone, we grew 1,800 clients. So very, very fast growing firm. We are a fully institutionalized platform business. That is, we've standardized high quality customer experience across all our 24 branches, whether it's service or sales. And we completely institutionalized the middle and back office functions of the RIA business. So we turnkey those operational matters. And when firms seek to join Mercer and we're acquiring smaller RIAs, they get to drop off all those operational headaches they hate. So back office functions, compliance, HR, legal, investment department, trading, rebalancing, billing, accounting, you name it. We take all that over for them, and they get to focus on what they do best, which is serving their clients.
Great. Well, congratulations for all that growth, obviously, in the acquisitions that took place last year.
Thank you. That's continued into this year, Phil. And of course, one of those acquisitions was Wealth Design for Services, a firm located in Rochester, New York, which came from Succession Link. Very successful acquisition for us and a great win for Steve Schwartz, the founder of Wealth Design Services, and his team. And so a true win-win scenario where they get to offer more services to their clients by virtue of joining the Mercer team. They create a continuity and succession plan for their business, which is also good for their clients. And at the same time, we take over their middle and back office functions that they don't like and can't scale, and something we have scaled and institutionalized, and allows them to dedicate more time to their clients and the services that they provide. So very winning formula. And then what we do is we add salespeople to that, Phil, where we have a national sales force. We participate on multiple referral channels. We also concentrate on traditional centers of influence to win new business. And our national sales force goes out and wins new clients for our local branches and then hands them over to our local branches for servicing. So The new Rochester, New York branch office called Wealth Design Services will be growing pretty dramatically by virtue of the sales resources that we bring to the table and help that new Mercer branch grow.
Got it. Makes sense. If we could focus then on that recent acquisition of Wealth Design Services. So could you walk me through maybe the first couple of months on the site when you first had a conversation with Wealth Design Services, and maybe, again, starting with interaction on the site and then where it went from there?
Well, I'll turn that portion of the question over to William Perysian, who's our business analyst. And he partners with me on mergers and acquisitions, and he really does use the Succession Link website quite extensively, comprehensively, and I'll let William speak directly to that.
Great. Yeah. So, back in March of 2017 is when we actually first made contact with Stephen Schwartz. Typically, when we were going on the website, we're obviously focusing on a geographical area that makes sense for us. And so, we actually looked into the Rochester area, and we went ahead, and Stephen wasn't exactly interested in selling at first. And so, by the first couple of conversations, after kind of explaining the benefits of Mercer, he clearly had some internal problems that he definitely needed help with. And so we were able to kind of show him the cost benefits of going ahead and actually making a move over to the Mercer. And, ever since then, the whole process itself, we just closed on it as of last week. And so the whole process would go 5-6 months, and we were able to kind of make it all happen.
I think one of the things that we find quite attractive still regarding Succession Link is not only the large pipeline potential M&A targets, buyers and sellers on that website, but the numerous filters you can apply to search applicable criteria that you're interested in, as in our case, a buyer. So as William was stating, we could look at a particular city that we're interested in opening up a new office and look for someone who might be seeking to sell their practice in that same area. We can also look at characteristics like of a particular firm regarding investment philosophy. Are they fee only? Are they a planning firm? And other things that allow us to narrow our search and find the firm that best fits our M&A profile.
Gotcha. Okay. And William, I think I heard you mention at the beginning that Wealth Design Services wasn't exactly looking to outright sell the business.
Right. And so, when we go to their profile, he had put that, he is interested in merging or, possibly buying a practice. And so obviously with that filter, and I've spoken with many other firms in the same kind of, mentality. They're not interested in selling, but it doesn't hurt to have a conversation, especially, with the number of profiles on Succession Link. I've had many numerous conversations where, they may not have panned out, or, we found out that maybe long-term it wasn't going to be a great fit. But with, all the firms on here, it doesn't hurt to kind of educate yourself and do a little research and kind of continue conversations.
Gotcha. Okay. And then David, you mentioned that Rochester was of interest for the firm. Any particular reasons why?
We already have an office in Manhattan, and our interest is expanding our influence and reach in the greater New York area. So we were looking for a practice in that area, and Succession Link allowed us to do that.
Okay. How receptive was Steve to the first conversation? And to give some context, we have calls from time to time with folks that are in the marketplace that say, hey, if I'm looking to sell or merge, I'm not going to entertain conversations from firms that are outside my geographic area. Did the conversation start that way on this particular acquisition, or did you get the sense that Steve was open to acquirers or at least conversations from firms that were outside of his geographic area?
That's a good question. Of course, I've had probably 100 conversations during the process of our negotiation and completing this transaction. To begin with, Steve was really more interested in understanding what the Mercer opportunity was, understanding our business model, understanding our national business, our national platform, how each of our offices operated, what was our philosophy, investment philosophy, and how do we grow, how do we service our clients. So it was really more a conversation about Mercer and learning more about Mercer, which I totally understand. And then once he learned more about Mercer, and as Billy alluded to, he really became interested in joining Mercer as opposed to, hey, I'm looking to, merge my firm or buy another firm. It became much more of a sale call. That is, I'm looking to succession out, remain an employee, continue to service my clients, but sell my practice to Mercer. They've built a great model, and I want to partner with them. And so it was a bit of an evolution. So first information inquiry, and then it moved into, I like this message, I like the business model, I like the people, and I want to partner with them, and I want to go forward in that vein. So it was really an evolution of the conversation.
Gotcha. Okay. What was maybe the biggest surprise for you throughout the process? I think obviously in the conversations with Steve, and then just use of the website as well.
There were really no surprises in my conversation with Stephen, other than he built a very successful practice. He focused not only on financial planning, but had a robust tax practice, which was keenly of interest to me. We're building out our tax return preparation business. So when I found out that he had that, it was something that created a high level of interest for me and Mercer to buy his firm. With regard to use of the website, I'll defer to Billy on that.
Like I had mentioned earlier, there wasn't too many surprises. There, obviously, like I had said before, that the whole, Stephen wasn't actually looking to sell. That was kind of a shocker after having multiple conversations and, saying that he generally had interest in selling. I would probably say that was probably the only big surprise that came out of that. But other than that, everything was, straightforward, and, it was a great conversation throughout the entire process.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think the reason we're so successful in acquiring smaller RIAs is we understand their value. And your website, Succession Link, helps define that value for us, helps us laser target our search. And then it's really a meeting of the minds and meeting of like-minded people when we get on the phone with them and begin, talking with them. And so your service provides a very helpful nexus between good buyers who pay really at the high end of the range for these smaller RIAs, because they're worth more in our hands than in other people's hands, simply because we are a national business. We have 24 offices. We're on our way to 50. And so for us, if it's in the right location and it's the right firm with the right people, then we want to partner with them. We want to help them grow. We want to help them succeed. Your service allows us to create a win-win scenario for both the buyer and the seller.
Great. Okay. And that's certainly great for us to hear. What did maybe some of the other interactions look like on the site? Obviously, with Wealth Design Services, it was a success over time. But I have to imagine during that time as well, you guys were also reaching out to other acquisition targets and other firms to potentially maybe merge with. Could you give me some sense of maybe how many folks that you're reaching out to at any given time, and then maybe how many active conversations are taking place for you?
We have had a great deal of success with Succession Link, and we are in negotiations with several parties who are participants on your website. We are under confidentiality agreements with those firms, so I can't identify who they are. But I can tell you that it's a number of firms. It's not one. And those negotiations are advancing quite nicely.
Great. So yeah, at this point, I usually like to kind of shift gears and ask kind of what's next for your firm, and then also ask if there's any advice that you would give to prospective members of Succession Link to maybe better prepare them to have a better experience on the site.
The first point, what's next for Mercer? We're going to continue our strategic growth objectives, which are robust organic growth. We look to add over $1.6 billion in new business this year organically from our national sales force. And then secondly, to grow aggressively through the M&A channels. And so we expect to add, again, over $1 billion+ in new clients and AUM through our mergers and acquisition activities. And your service and your website is very valuable to us in helping us achieve those objectives.
And then second part of that, what advice would you give to prospective members of Succession Link?
For the buyer community, it's extremely important that you articulate your value proposition. Why are you different than any other buyer? Why should the seller sell to you? And for Mercer, it's pretty simple. We are not an aggregator. We are an integrator. So Mercer is a one-brand business. We're a national firm with 24 branches on our way to 40 or 50. And we look to partner with like-minded firms, the talented people. And then we apply our strong and robust organic growth to those now new Mercer locations, help them grow and succeed far beyond what they could do on their own. While at the same time, relieving those sellers the burdens and headaches of managing middle and back office functions that frankly, most sellers simply don't enjoy. And it takes away from their highest and best use, which is serving their clients. And so we provide a very strong solution set to sellers looking to join a firm like Mercer, who's been around for 30 years, isn't going anywhere. And we have a very high value proposition to our clients and sellers who care about their clients. They want to make sure their clients are taken care of. They want to make sure that the buyer is not just interested in acquiring AUM and revenue, but they're much more concerned about maintaining the integrity and the fiduciary duty owed to their clients and then expanding the service set. So in our case, we're a family office. So that seller who's doing financial planning and investment management quite well now gets to tack on more services, estate planning, asset protection, corporate trustee, tax return preparation to their clients. So they get to expand the value proposition to their clientele. So it's important that the buyers understand their value proposition, communicate it correctly, and can show the sellers and demonstrate for the sellers and actually deliver on their promises. Mercer delivers on their promises. We're not an empty suit.
That actually raised a question for me. As you guys went through the first acquisition on Succession Link, did you get any insight in terms of how many people you were competing with in the early stages to acquire the business?
Every deal that we've done, the sellers are typically talking with more than three parties. And so you are in a competitive auction process. So that's why your value proposition needs to speak for itself. And it can't be a story. It has to be real. Because guess what? The buyers are going to check you out. They're going to do their reverse due diligence on you, and they should.
Makes sense. Okay. And then a final kind of formal question for the podcast. And be honest, what could we do better here at Succession Link to make a better experience for you as a member?
You guys do a fantastic job, and I'm not just blowing smoke here. You guys really provide a very valuable service to buyers and sellers. My request, selfishly, would be expand your pipeline. Get even more people interested. Do more digital marketing. Do more things to get your story out, like this podcast, because you guys do provide value, and it's a very necessary service in today's consolidating market. And so the CFP industry that grew up in the 70s is now retiring in this decade. So they need a service like this to help them transition and succession plan their business to someone that will take care of their clients, take care of them, create economic freedom for them, but then also provide continuity for the clients that the seller is servicing today. So just get more clients, guys.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to give some feedback, and we appreciate your partnership. And congratulations again on all the success that you're having on the site.
Well, thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure talking with you today.
That's been great. Thanks for taking the time out today, Phil. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys.